this game. It was tied at 14 at one point.
Jamie Collins forced fumble. Van Noy picks it up. Rinse, repeat, the boogeyman. We've got a full slate of games in week 6. Though, let's break it down with a lot of things on the line here. A lot of, ups and downs, what ifs, if you will. So there's some marquee matchups this weekend. It's a round of raising the stakes. And I want to start with this NFC West rivalry game that we've been talking about. The undefeated Niners have to go to LA to take on the 3-2 Rams. What is at stake for both of these teams as far as the division, as far as their respective squads?
I don't press the panic button too often in week 6, but the Rams have lost 2 straight games, and in those games they've given up 85 combined points.
Oh.
That's the worst since 2007 for them. Their defense looks wounded. I don't know if Aqib Talib and Marcus Peters are the guys that they were when they were signed or brought in or traded for a couple of years ago. And I look at the Rams. There are a lot of guys who are on one-year contracts, a lot of guys who they signed to big contracts who haven't played up to those big contracts. And here comes this new, fresh, hot, up-and-coming 49ers team. If the Niners beat the Rams not only sink down in the standings a little bit, but there is certainly a question about their invincibility and whether we're going to see them in January. I don't think anyone expected them to be a 500 team in the middle of October. So what's at stake for the Rams? 3 straight losses? That's really hard to get over, especially when it's your division rival coming in and beating you in your house.
There's some optics going on, aren't there?
Yeah.
Like, there's this whole idea of the cool coach throne, and we may have a new person sitting on it. Like, McVay has had a real nice existence. Come out of nowhere, though, the toast of the town. But if I'm Shannon, it's like, what's nice to come in and have your quarterback and your superstar running back and the best defensive player in all of football? You know what I've been dealing with over here? I had Hoyer. I had Nick Mullins. Like, I've finally got a team together. And by the way, I've been doing this before you did it. It's like, if Shanahan hangs 30 on the Rams this weekend, maybe more. It's like, all right, well, McVay, dude, it's time to adjust. The blessed run of you entering this league is now over, and you got to control alt delete because it's the Shan man now.
Yeah, Peter, you mentioned the contracts, and you have these million-dollar men, starting with the coaches and then down to the quarterbacks. But me, it is about that Rams offense, though. And I know that McVay has come in as the boy genius, and he's Doogie Howser with a playbook. He's been fantastic thus far, getting into the playoffs and then getting to the Super Bowl. But now with Todd Gurley being down, I can't help but to question this offense. Has it been McVay's genius and Goff's talent, or has it been the fact that they had the best running back in football that made their life easy?
Good question.
And I'm starting to question whether Todd Gurley is the reason, and not the reason why they're not successful, is the reason why Sean McVay can't get this offense going. Was it a cheat code that you had this in your back pocket the whole time, that a true 4-down running back could stay on the field every single play, and defenses didn't know what to guard? They didn't know how to guard you. So for me, that's what makes me concerned about this Rams offense, is what are you going to do? As much as we praise Sean McVay, as much as we pat him on the back and we say, you know what, he's one of the smartest it's your time. Prove to the world how smart you are. Because right now, Todd Gurley isn't the man he was. You're going to have to be a better coach than your team is a better offense.
Well said. He's being paid top dollar. So is Goff. So is Cook. So is Aaron Donald. And the window that you mentioned is really interesting because a lot of those free agents and contracts are over after this year. This is almost a must-win game for them as far as the playoff hopes being in jeopardy. Next, 2 first-place teams in the AFC. The Texans head to Arrowhead. This is going to be a great one. Taking on the Chiefs here. Watson up against Mahomes. This is the first time they're playing each other on a college level. They're the 2 highest-rated passers in NFL history. What is on the line in this one, Kyle?
Yeah, I would say if the Texans lose, I always go back to the phrase that Bill O'Brien uses about they're the almost team. They're the classic almost team. Okay, you hung 53 points on a terrible Falcons team. What are you going to do in this game? Like, are you the team that should be the number 1 to take out the Patriots, or is it somebody else? And if the Chiefs lose, it's like, well, then there's really blood in the water. Then the tires are spinning. Then it's really been 3 bad weeks and 2 losses in a row. And guys, the Chiefs deal is like, if they lose this game, they're talking about home playoff games and home title game. Like, this is huge stakes for both teams. I think especially Kansas City.
You know what sticks out to me? This game's in Arrowhead. They lost a bad one Sunday night in Arrowhead. Yeah. Like, you can't lose that game at home under the lights. Another spotlight game in Arrowhead. We hear about how great Arrowhead is. If you lose 2 games in a row in the meat of your schedule to 2 teams from the AFC South in your building, well, then that's reason for concern. And it's, hey, Andy, we need you to win these games at home. Like, we need to play the Patriots at home if we're in the playoffs. We can't be going into Foxborough. I have real concerns about the Chiefs and their ability to win a big game if they lose this one to the Texans at home in their building with all these players coming back from injury.
But in the AFC West, I still don't think, even if they lose this one, nobody's there to challenge them. The Colts are the ones that took down the Chiefs. So if they lose to the Texans at home, that division, the other division, is a little bit more up and down the AFC South.
Yeah, no doubt. And speaking of stakes, I'll spend it it forward. How about the MVP race? I said after Russ's last game, Russell Wilson is running away with this. And for the first time in Pat Mahomes' career, because he was so good last year, now he's looking at the back of somebody else's jersey when it comes to the best quarterback title. What if Deshaun Watson comes in?
Talk about it.
I think the 5-touchdown game was good, but we got to see that a couple of weeks in a row. Let's see if Deshaun Watson can stack up a couple of weeks of great football, and then all of a sudden he's going to leapfrog Pat Mahomes. And for me, it would be Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, and Pat Mahomes.
You got McCaffrey?
Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, McCaffrey, Pat Mahomes.
Well
like
said.
it.
That's what's at stake. We'll, of course, hit all the games Mad Minute style. We've got a lot of fun. We've got Wall Streeters on the way. Jonathan Abram of the Raiders. Putting the shades on, baby. It's time to shine a light on the game's brightest stars, presented by Oakley. Nate, you were up first. You look cooler in your sunglasses than everyone on planet Earth.
No.
Which player do you think will shine like these Oakleys in Week 6?
I'm going to go with a guy that you've talked about quite a bit on this table, okay? And that's Bucs wide receiver Chris Godwin.
Yeah.
He is balling out right now. And if you're not familiar with this individual, maybe because they're not winning as much as you would like, or maybe because he's not a big name, or maybe he suffers from what Kyle says a regular name.
Yeah, it's the David Johnson theory. If you have a boring name, sometimes it doesn't jump off the marquee. We can't all be named Ezekiel Elliott.
He has God in his name.
I know, and he's playing at a God level right now, okay? 6 TDs this season. That leads the NFL. Over 500 yards receiving. That's third in the NFL. I'll tell you this. I know they're playing the Panthers. This is at home, but I mean, this is an international game. But if he can go off in this game along with Mike Evans, don't be surprised if the Bucs walk away with this victory on the shoulders of Chris Godwin having a big game.
All right. The David Johnson name theory is rejecting Chris Godwin. His last name has God and win. It's what life is all about for many people.
Chris is a normal name.
He is the number one fantasy wide receiver through
My bad.
5.
Chris is a
If anything, Mike Evans has the David Johnson theory. Chris God and win?
Well, I was absent last week.
That was a reach. My bad.
I was scrolling through my Twitter feed, and I watch all the stuff, and there was a Bleacher Report video. Usually these things are really funny, but there was one of them, I was picking on Matt Stafford. I thought it went a little bit over the line. I don't know if you saw this, but this video was one of those animated videos, and it was based on the Joker, and it was calling him the Choker. All right? And it was a whole thing about Matt Stafford, and he says, the Choker, he's mediocre, I can't take a joker. Then it says he's Pad Stafford is his nickname. And I'm watching, like, all right, whatever. He's got
pads his stats or something?
Yeah, Pad Stafford. Can't win the big one. It's a Joker parody, you know. And I giggled, but I'm like, it's a little hard. Whatever.
Yeah.
They asked Stafford about it this week.
Really?
And like, I missed it, didn't see it, don't care. Should I see it? They're like, I don't know. He's like, probably going to miss it. Stafford has become this guy that has such thick skin from the criticism. Year after year after year, it's like the NFC North. Let's talk about the Bears, the Packers, and the Vikings. And oh yeah, there's that team in Detroit. Guys, I know they lost to the Chiefs 2 weeks ago. I think he outplayed Patrick Mahomes in that game, and I know they didn't get the win. And I know that everyone's going to say, that's classic Stafford, big stats, and just when you need him most, he didn't pull it. Stafford's got Aaron Rodgers this weekend on Monday Night Football. It's time. It's time. Bleacher Report, be darned. You know, everyone else, be darned. Go out, be the brightest star, be the Matt Stafford we know you can be, and shut everybody up. Matt Stafford, I expect big numbers against the Packers.
All right.
Pat and Matt, does it even rhyme?
It doesn't.
I'm really
It
confused
doesn't.
about
It's good animation, though.
Yeah.
I gotta say, those glasses look great on you, Peter Schrager.
can.
My
Awesome
goodness,
on all you
Oakleys
guys.
are so sweet. I want to talk about Jimmy Garoppolo. Yes, we've done a lot of talking about them, but they are undefeated. They've got the Rams, and he was paid, right? Brinks truck, backed up, got all the money. Yes, he is 12-2 as a starter, but I dare say this is the first game that he's really playing that has major stakes at play. They want to remain undefeated. They want to be taken seriously as contenders, not only in the NFC West, where you have to battle with Russell Wilson and company, but also really in the NFC. And now he finally has a huge challenge. You've got 2 tackles out. McGlinchey and Staley are both out. Kyle Juszczyk is huge. They've been running the ball more than anybody. In fact, Jimmy Garoppolo has not unleashed anything in 2019. Case Keenum has more throws of 20 yards or more than he does. Mason Rudolph has more 20 or more yard throws than Garoppolo. He's going to have to throw in this one. He's going to have to test this Rams defense because they are not going to be able to run the ball as successfully. I know you mentioned George Kittle is going to help with blocking there, but this has to be a Jimmy Garoppolo game because I've been around. What is that?
I don't know. Just counting the heat on the takes. I like it. It's a meter we got.
Yes, to me, Jimmy Garoppolo has to air it out a little bit more and try to get this win over the Rams so they're finally taken as seriously as their counterpart in the AFC that's undefeated, the Patriots.
That would be a big one, especially if they got a big game. Do you guys know? There it is again. Do you guys know what the United States defense condition is? You know what what that is? That's DEF CON. And I'm going to look at the Dallas Cowboys who are coming to Jersey right down
Here
the
we
road.
go.
People mistake that DEF CON goes up. As the situation escalates, it goes to 3, 4, 5. It doesn't. It goes down. 3, 2, 1. If the Dallas Cowboys lose this game to the New York Jets, we are at DEF CON 1. It's a 3-game losing streak. Everything is coming unraveled. I don't know if you guys know this, but remember the first month of the season? Kellen Moore invented offensive football in the league. He invented the forward pass. Not in a couple of weeks they haven't. You cannot lose this game to the Jets, especially since Dak Prescott, we're counting how many times it's been since Dak Prescott's been paid. Over and over. I don't even know if Dak Prescott in NFL terms could afford these Oakleys, and they're affordable. He'd have to buy Folkleys on the steps of the train station, and they're not the quality. Guys, they can't do this. The Eagles are really good. The Eagles are next. If they lay an egg and lose to the Jets with Sam Darnold coming off a month of spin the bottle, DEF CON 1, boom! Dak, you better have a day, dude. Let's go.
I don't think he was playing spin the bottle during that time.
We don't know.
Because he
We don't know.
Spin the
Maybe
bottle.
he was.
I feel like we're in
There's
Mario
something going
collecting
on.
coins.
There's a noise in our studio. We don't know what it is.
Yeah, I'll take one of those flowers in Mario.
Will Selva in the newsroom out in Culver City. I like the leaf, then I can fly.
Yes.
Yeah, well, now we're into the sequels. I love it.
The raccoon suit.
Absolutely. I just am waiting for one
Shade.
of you to do the Horatio Kane sunglasses pose, and I was expecting Schrager to do
we'll get
it.
there, right?
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Well done. Well done. All right.
Horatio
Well, you guys are talking about a couple of stars. Well, there's a couple stars in the KC Houston game. That would be Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes, who are currently the highest-rated passers in NFL history with the minimum of 20 games. Now, if my math is correct, they have the highest combined passer rating among opposing starting quarterbacks entering a matchup since 1970. 217.8. 217.8. Now, Mahomes will not be at 100% for this contest. He's still dealing with an ankle injury suffered in Week 1. He tweaked it in a loss to the Colts last Sunday. Mahomes says it's not perfect, but it is good enough where he can run and cut and still do what he needs to do to win. Steelers quarterback Mason Rudolph practicing on a limited basis on Thursday for the second straight day, which is a good sign, but he is still in the NFL's concussion protocol. As for who will start Sunday against the Chargers, either Rudolph or rookie Devlin Hodges, offensive coordinator Randy Fichtner says he's not sure. Former tight end Rob Gronkowski back at Gillette Stadium as an analyst for Fox Sports. There's fans in Foxborough pining for Gronk to suit up again. And as owner Robert Kraft told NFL Game Day Kickoff, he's wanting the same thing and believes there could be a chance of it happening.
He hasn't put his retirement papers in, so we can always pray and hope. It's a little fact that
I didn't know that.
Well, I'm glad I could tell
Thanks
you
for telling
one thing
me.
you don't know. So you can pursue that. And when he puts his retirement papers in, although I think our kicker, Matt Nugent, he's already put his retirement papers in. So even if he puts them in, but that's a good academic argument that there is hope for us still with Gronk.
That'd be something else. Gronk showing up there at Gillette, and maybe those retirement papers will be held back a little bit longer. We'll see. And Gronk did say during the pregame telecast he would have to be feeling it big time to come back. It's always going to be open in his mind. We are always open here on Good Morning Football as we roll on. Could this Giants defense be better than we all thought? And can the man with the mustache withstand the Saints defense on Sunday? We delve into that and more ahead on Good Morning Football.